So thanks for staying with us. We are exactly 30 days away from the 52nd edition of the annual CARIFTA Games set for the Hasely Crawford Stadium in Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago. And the premier junior athletics event for the region was officially launched earlier on Thursday. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Sports and Community Development, David Roberts, and NAAATT General Secretary, multiple CARIFTA Games champion Jehu Gordon, both expressed delight at the event returning to sweet TNT for the first time since 2005.
I'd just like to thank everyone that were very instrumental in having Trinidad and Tobago bid for a successful CARIFTA Games. Just to congratulate everyone that was a part of that process. We haven't had this type of competition home for quite a long time, and I'm definitely looking forward.
These CARIFTA Games offer Trinidad and Tobago a unique opportunity to showcase our world-class facilities while promoting sports tourism and highlighting the many excellent amenities the country has to offer. We anticipate an influx of athletes, officials, and supporters, which will stimulate local economies, particularly in the hospitality, retail, and transportation sectors. This event will not only spotlight our nation's culture and hospitality, but also enhance our reputation as a premier destination for international sporting events.
So while Roberts and Gordon are anticipating a high-quality event, things are not going as smoothly as organisers hoped, as there are delays to the relaying of the synthetic track at the competition venue. Those delays have forced the governing body for athletics in the Twin Island Republic, the NAAATT, to add another venue for what will now be a 3-day CARIFTA trials instead of a 2-day event. Field events will be held at the Hasely Crawford on the 4th of April, with a track event set for the Manny Ramjohn Stadium on the 5th and 6th of April. President of the NAAATT, Ephraim Serrette, joins us now live to elaborate on what's happening in the build-up to CARIFTA. Mr. Serrette, welcome to the SportsMax Zone. Great to have you on the show, sir.
Good afternoon, and thank you. The pleasure is mine.
Yeah, just to confirm that the launch today also spoke to the fact that the CARIFTA Swimming Championship is also being staged in TNT.
Yes, for the second time, both athletics and aquatics will be held in Trinidad and Tobago over the Easter weekend.
At the same time?
Yes, that the track and field will be from the 19th to the 21st. Aquatics from the 19th to the 23rd, because they have open water swimming.
Yeah, which is not normal for the CARIFTA Games, swimming and track and field. It usually is at two different locations. Or two different countries. Let me start quickly, though, by asking for an update on the relaying of the track. We did get reports in the past couple of weeks that there's no threat that the track will not be ready for the CARIFTA Track and Field Championship, but for the CARIFTA trials, there is a problem. Can you just speak to the fact that things are on course for the stadium to be ready 100% for the Easter weekend?
So the original delivery date of the facility was the 28th of March, but there was a delay with some material coming through New York. They had some snowstorm, which would have delayed the material, and the delivery date is now April 7th. Our trials would normally be held 1 month before the CARIFTA Games, based on it happening in Trinidad and Tobago. The 1 month was, would take care of travel information, athletes who would be required to get passports and whatever necessary stuff. So we felt it a good idea to have it 2 weeks before, so the 28th delivery date was going to be a good date for us. We maintain the dates, but we now have, we are fortunate to have other facilities, but the best out of all the other facilities is the Manny Ramjohn Stadium in Maribel.
Yeah, your Gensec, Jehu Gordon, spoke at the launch today, and he referenced the fact that it's been some time that the CARIFTA Games hadn't been staged in Trinidad and Tobago, a country that has been steeped in strong history in the event and international success as well. As a man presiding over the governing body for track and field in the country, how pleased are you that the country is staging this event?
Well, I am very pleased because the first CARIFTA was held here in 1973. The first CARIFTA 72, actually, the CARIFTA Games was actually conceptualized by two Trinidadians, Dr. Jesse Noel and Raul Raphael. It went to Barbados in 72 because ostensibly a banker at the time would have been able to source sponsorships, and that was the reason why it went to Barbados in 72. In 73, it was held here at the Queen's Park Oval, and if I remember correctly, your famous fast bowler cricketer, Michael Holden, I understand he was part of the Jamaican My Relay team in that year.
Yes.
So 73, 98, 2005 was the last CARIFTA we held in Tobago. That was held in Tobago. I think Shelly-Ann Fraser and, some couple top athletes were at that games, Kelly-Ann Batiste, So to host the competition 20 years after, I think, we were looking forward to that. I actually wasn't part of that, the team that was done by the previous administration, but the work continued, and we are all ready to host the 52nd edition of the CARIFTA Games. For some reason, I shouldn't say for some reason, it's known when the CARIFTA is south, we have a huge participation because of cost. Because once the games go to the north, it is very expensive. So we're expecting, we had numerical entries deadline on Monday, and we are seeing a lot of, the numbers have it's increased, a huge number of athletes and officials that we're expecting together with the swimming.
Yeah, and Lance specifically asked you about the update with regards to the track, but I'm going to ask you now with regards to the National Aquatic Center, how are preparations coming along on that side?
Well, they have training going on there currently. There are competitions that are being held there, but I know it has been closed for this period, minor adjustments, but the National Aquatics team has already been selected.
Yes.
And they are actually training at the venue.
Yeah, and has accommodation been made for the track athletes as well? Because I know what I've realized is I saw a lot of press releases where the actual venues were not in use because works are happening, but has there been provisions made for the athletes?
Well, the athletes, I can speak to track and field. We have been having competitions at the Stadium. So that has been the go-to facility for competitions at this time. With the aquatics, I think most of them would have been using their training pools, clubs that have such facilities would have been using that. So for us, it would have been ideal, to have the track ready on the 28th to host the trials so that, to use as a test event. But seeing that it is not possible, we have the normal Falcon Games, which takes place in Trinidad the weekend before the CARIFTA Games. We understand from the meet promoters, it will not be coming off. So we will try to do an event that weekend and use it as a test event for the officials and to test although we have been testing equipment over the last couple weekends, to have it as a kind of dry run for the games.
Yeah, and Ephraim, last time the CARIFTA Games held in Grenada, do you think now that it's being held in Trinidad and Tobago, that's an advantage? And are you expecting the number of medals to rise this year?
Well, the number of medals, no medal has a name on it. People have to come and go and earn their medals. We would like to have, athletes performing here, they're home, so we would think that they would rise to the occasion. All the federations across the region, they have been doing their work. And back in 2012, 2010, Trinidad and Tobago was taking medal haul about roughly 40 medals, and that now has been to just about 30 or so. So that, yes, the athletes are being prepped, and we're looking forward to them being home and giving their best performance.
Yeah, Mr. Serrette, forgive me if you've already said this, but I just want to be clear. Did you give the specific date or the new date for turning over of the Hayes de Crawford Stadium or the track at the Hayes de Crawford Stadium?
The 7th of April. 7th of April.
Okay, so that is 12 days before the start of the CARIFTA Games. And as far as you know...
Unlike Grenada last year, which was about a day or two before.
And based on what you know, Mr. Serrette, the date is unlikely to be pushed beyond that.
No, from my up to date today, actually the launch was at the Hazy Crawford Stadium, and I would have met with the contractor, and I must compliment him. He is doing everything possible. There are 3 shifts working to deliver the facility. Even in my conversation with him, he understood that, you know, we were trying to have the facility ready for the trials. He did not want to commit, but he is saying that they're pushing, but he's not going to promise. So there's a possibility that we may have it available for the trials.
You know, one of the things I've learned over time and being in this business for a little while, Mr. Serrette, whenever you have these things happening and you don't have deliverables on target as promised, you always have individuals coming out of the woodwork from one place or another, and they're saying, oh, well, you know what, I told you that this would be the case, I told you that that would be the case, it wasn't beyond your ability to ensure that this didn't happen. Are we likely to hear any of that this time around regarding the delays?
No, not really. I mean, we have been working closely with the sport company of Trinidad and Tobago, who have they're the facilities managers. It's been managed under that company, and so far, I mean, from what the progress that I am seeing, you know, they're working. We are cooperating and doing the best, you know, not to have any those sort of comments and the negativity. We all in positive because it could trickle down to the athletes and those kind of things. So we are keeping it very positive.
Yeah, let's talk about the athletes. 27 medals last year in Grenada, including 4 gold medals. It was, you know, quite encouraging to see what Trinidad and Tobago did at the CARIFTA Games last year. And you also had the Austin Seeley Award winner. Given the fact that you are at home this year, how much more are you expecting? And I also want to get an understanding if anything special has been put in place, re the preparation of the team to ensure that Trinidad and Tobago fans are excited to come out and see their athletes over the Easter weekend.
Yes, there's a plan. The manager has forwarded information from the medical team and the coaches for, you know, the preparation for the athletes. What is happening is more and more we are having athletes coming out of the US. So you have the Frederick the twin.
Yeah.
Dylan Woodruff is still eligible. He's out in the US. The Austin Seeley Trophy winner from last year, Janetti Gans, she's at Baylor. She's also eligible and available for the CARIFTA. And recently, well, not recently, but last year, the Ray sisters, Lisa, who would have just broken the U.S. high school sprint record for the 60 meters.
Yeah.
So we have a number of athletes, quality athletes, and just putting things in place so that they could deliver on home court, and to bring the crowd out so that we would see those kind of performances.
Yeah. Any special plans to bring the crowd out? Because I must tell you, the last time I was in Trinidad and Tobago to watch track and field, I didn't like what I saw in terms of crowd support. So, and the Bahamians will come, the Jamaicans will come, and you don't want to be outnumbered at home.
Right. So far, we have ticket sales online, and the ticket sales have been going good. I know Bahamas has booked 250 tickets for what we call the covered premium, which is finish line. We have a number of federations have booked their tickets. We have a Trinidad and Tobago supporters group, which you may have seen them last year in Grenada, so they too are rallying and bring people out. We are working with the schools, police youth clubs, to have, filled stadium. It's difficult where track and field is, in Trinidad and Tobago, depends on where you ask the question, what's the national sport? You could hear cricket, somebody could tell you football. But track and field remains the most successful sport in Trinidad and Tobago. We may not be the number one, but be the most successful sport. And for some reason, everybody thinks they have an entitlement and wants to come to the games for free. Nobody wants to pay. Everybody wants to come free. I mean, just today, I have a conversation with some coaches. They want to know if they will be allowed to come in free. And, everybody just wants to be free.
Quick question, Mr. Serrette. Is that the reason why it seems you gave away all the premium tickets to the Bahamas?
No, they don't have all the premium tickets. The premium area has over 2,000 seats, upper and lower deck.
Okay. So, my apologies, sir. Yeah, so you've only given them just over 200.
Yes, they just asked for 250, right? And the local Track and Field Supporters Association, they have requested 450.
Okay.
So, and then we are also counting the Junkanoo band. So we are planning to have our own rhythm and music to counter the Junkanoo.
Yeah, this is going to be a noisy one. Ephraim Serrette, it's a pleasure speaking with you, and I'm sure we'll be speaking again ahead of CARIFTA 2025. Take care, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you here.
I'm looking forward to being there as well.
Okay.
Lance and Mariah, the first time I ever went to a CARIFTA Games, it was actually in Jamaica, in Montego Bay.
Yes.
And I lost my voice within 2 hours of being there. And I couldn't.
Were you working?
Yes, I was working,
So
and I couldn't complete the job. I had to be replaced that weekend at the time by my boss, Roger Hasfall, who wasn't very happy that he had to travel from Kingston to Montego Bay on the holiday weekend because I couldn't work after about 2 hours. We were placed just behind the Bahamian supporters. I'd never heard noise like that in my life, but I was also enjoying it probably a little bit too much. Yes. And I couldn't hear myself. And I also had a little bit of a cold going, so that didn't help as well. Yes. But I couldn't talk.
I'm wondering
if
you were
like nothing was coming out. That's how bad it was.
The Bahamians have a track record of reaching decibels beyond all the other competing teams at CARIFTA Games.
And I thought Jamaicans were loud.
And I was wondering, in Jamaica, they were able to achieve that.
Yes.
While the event was being staged in Montego Bay.
For most of, yes, even in Jamaica, that was 2011.
Yes.
But also the last time CARIFTA was held in Kingston, 2022, for most of it, the Bahamians, I'm going to coin a phrase here, out-noised the Jamaicans comfortably.
What? And I think, I've never really had a lot of interactions with Bahamians, so now I'm very eager to do that. But I find like Jamaicans are noisy.
I don't know if it's Bahamians generally, though, or if it's the Bahamian support at CARIFTA Games specifically.
Yeah. Because you all are noisy, you know.
Yeah.
You know that. So I'm shocked. Yeah. But yeah, we're going to have to go to a break.
But it's going to be a contest at CARIFTA this year. I get that feeling. And remember in 2022 when the sports minister had to open parts of the National Stadium in Kingston for free?
Yes.
I think that's what Serrette is running from.
Break time, team. The producer says, gotta go to a break.